It's Kestra from Utah, and when we went to go see Rise of Skywalker in theaters, when the kiss happened, our entire theater bursted out into laughter. There was no wooing, there was no awing. It was complete laughter.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast where we analyze, we scrutinize, and celebrate the rise of Skywalker 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
You sure about that, Alex? And I am Greg Wyshynski from ESPN, co-host of The Drop, your home for hockey talk, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are sold, I guess. I don't know.
We need to invent a term for that. It's ridiculous that there's not one. Well, Greg, thanks for closing out the week with us here on our Rise of Skywalker coverage. We are talking about minute 125 of the Rise of Skywalker, which starts off with Rey's zombie hand reaching up and grabbing Ben's hand. Dun, dun, and then later on, a minute later, Rey's zombie hand catching Ben's lifeless head so it doesn't hit the ground with a funny coconut sound and spoil the mood.
If only.
Dialogue returns in this minute.
Yes. Well, yes. Dialogue returns.
At least one word's worth of is that monologue returns?
And ironically, or coincidentally, who knows, intentionally, it is just, once again, characters saying other characters' names, which I still am waiting for Tom Taylor to make that supercut of all the just characters shouting other characters' names in the sequel movies.
I thought this one was especially sad because it's like this. Finn has been the one yelling Rey's name for the entire trilogy, and here she's just whispering it tenderly to Ben Solo. Ben, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like somewhere Finn is feeling, he's feeling that via the Force. The fact that that he's being, and then they kiss.
Well, before
let's get to it.
Oh,
right, I do like the idea of her. If she woke up, she's like, Ben, and like Obi-Wan shows up and is like, you must go to the Dagobah. Oh, wait, is this the wrong, am I in the wrong room? Hang on a second.
I'm in the wrong movie. Hold on.
The kiss is one of the single most controversial things to ever happen in Star Wars. I cannot believe the conjecture on the kiss. I'm of two minds on it. On the one hand, I don't mind the kiss because they did have this deep connection. They are a dyad after all. And she clearly had affection for some part of Kylo Ren. It was the Ben Solo part, we've come to realize. And so when she sees that part of him having won out, when she sees that he has become Ben Solo again, that is the part that she loves. Yeah. She has general affection for, and the kiss makes sense. However, if they had gone the other way, and they had just had her say, Ben, and he smiles, and then drops dead. That would have also been pretty dope. I gotta be honest with you. That would have been a pretty dope thing to see at the end of this movie.
Although it would have been creepy if he just like smiled and then just held that, and she was like, "Now, like, you did it. We saved the galaxy." And he's just like, paused in that smile for like, Ben? And he was like,
and he just died. He just dies smiling like he's been hit with Smilex gas from the Joker.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it'd be great too.
I think it should have just ended on his smiling face, and then it's just directed by J.J. Abrams. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a TV show ending, kind of a. And then show bloopers. Why don't they show bloopers in movies anymore? Come on.
Or at least make them. Come on, Disney Plus. Give me bloopers for everything, Disney Plus. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
You two are a triad. I mean, shoot.
Everybody laughs. Oh, Palpy.
These contacts are killing me. I'm not sure how I feel about the kiss. mostly I don't care either way. Like, it's not like I was like, no, they had a more, sibling relationship, or I'm like, yeah, they finally kissed. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I always saw their thing as more of like a kind of sibling kind of thing, like a dyad sort of, not like a romantic connection personally, but people were free to
Star
interpret
Wars. We are in the Star Wars universe, so a sibling relationship does not exclude kissing like that.
Okay, yeah. So I do like it then. Maybe that's why I wasn't sure if I liked it, but now I like it and dislike it.
Luke and Leia taught me this.
I didn't mind it because I wasn't emotionally invested in shipping Rey with anybody in these movies. Like they teased the Finn thing in the first film. They didn't. It became a kind of a unrequited one-way thing after that. It would seem like, and then. It wasn't like she connected with really anybody outside of Kylo. So it wasn't as if she was taking a path. There was a fork in the road and she could have had any number of romances and then chose to have a romantic moment with Kylo. I always felt it was kind of headed this way because that was the only character she emotionally connected with.
Right. But it seems like there's no... it seems like somebody, like if this wasn't a huge, budget studio Disney movie, it seems like, like the guy who was like the old man who was like bankrolling the movie is like, you gotta have him kiss the girl at the end. And like, they just threw that in there, just to appease somebody.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously there's some people who like it in terms of as a romantic kiss. So,
yeah,
it's, good for them.
It doesn't seem horribly romantic.
Let's try one where you kiss her. Let's just try one where you smooch, and we'll see how that plays.
They never should have brought in Stan Lee to direct the final act of the movie. It just doesn't.
It's part of the deal.
You're a giant snake. There was I think the next 2 minutes should have just been them making out on screen. Would that have been weird?
And
by the way, Stan Lee did direct the end of this because Ben dies, which, as you know, is a real big thing.
Wow!
There you go.
Tradition.
That's where Rey finally learned about superpowers, that there's a price.
Right. Exactly.
Like the next 2 minutes of the movie is them just making out, and at what point does she realize that he's dead?
Well, that's a good question I had. Has Rey ever kissed anyone? Is this her first kiss? Did she make out with, desert rats? Like, didn't see anyone
there
particularly...
had to be a desert boy at some point, right? There had to be like at least one desert boy. You figure.
Can you imagine the freakish humans who live on that world? Anyway. Or also has Ben Solo kissed anyone?
She's making out with his corpse, and she's just like, a bit of a lousy kisser, this one. I see.
Let me see what New York Times bestselling author Ray Carson can shed some light on this subject a little bit.
Yes.
Because, well, first of all, yes, Kylo Ren went to like Jedi camp. He's like, that's all there is making out over there.
It's true.
But
no attachment doesn't mean you can't have a little fun.
Yeah, come on, summer loving.
Tell me more.
But before he has a moment where he says Rey, he sees her, he hugs her to his chest. He'd found her. He'd wasted his life. He knew that now. But anyone who could have shown him the way forward, helped him be Ben again, was gone. Luke, his parents, and now Rey. He says something about he says something about, is it before that? He says something basically like nothing can undo what he'd done.
It's too late for me now.
Oh yeah, as he held her, he sensed something, the tiniest spark, and he realized the Force hadn't taken her yet.
So she might have been.
So she's not all the way dead.
Yeah, she might have been clinically dead.
Mostly
she's not
dead.
Force dead, which is the one that really counts. So
she was only merely dead and really not sincerely dead.
And she will suffer no ill effects. Well, I guess she gets Force healed immediately, so any ill effects would be, immediately repealed.
Now your brain may be dead, but your Force isn't, so you should be fine.
That explains Yoda. Yoda used to talk in perfect English until one time he was brought back from the dead, and now his syntax a little strange. It is.
Yeah. And then his heart was full as Rey reached for his face, let her fingers linger against his cheek, and then, wonder of wonders, she leaned forward and kissed him. A kiss of gratitude, acknowledgement of their connection, celebration that they'd found each other at last. But then she drew back, concern on her face because she could feel him growing cold. Ben smiled at her. He had given Rey back to the galaxy. It wouldn't atone for the darkness he'd wrought, but it was what he could do. Ben Solo had no regrets as he collapsed to the ground. He shouted, "YOLO!" And then the Force reached for him in welcome. His final awareness was of Rey clasping his hand with her own.
I have a exciting new fan theory.
Okay.
Rey, a Palpatine, drains his life force with a kiss, and that's what kills him.
I like that.
Wow.
Same way that Padme just died of mysterious circumstances. That was actually, Palpatine transferring her life into. So there you go.
Like that they would both be like, alive but injured up until the kiss, and then the kiss she accidentally just, you think accidentally or intentionally, just kind of sucks the rest of the life out of him.
I'm going to say accidentally.
All right, yeah.
That it's like that spirit in her that wants to,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's like Rogue from the X-Men. She can't help it.
Exactly.
It's like her power, and that's why she can't kiss boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the baby comes out, it's Palpatine.
Or Rogue.
It's Rose? Is that what you said?
It was a kiss of gratitude.
Yeah.
It was a kiss of gratitude and relief.
That they had found each other.
At no point they found each other. Does that mean well, hold on. They found each other mean she was horned up for him? Or are we just like, is that subtext?
I think that they'd found like the dyad, the fourth dyad. That's the explanation.
Sure.
The dyad part that like they always knew that there was something missing in their life, and they found it. Makes it sound like it's like romantic, the idea of romance, but it's the fourth. It's they've the other half of the dyad, they found each other. They felt really good to be part of that dyad.
Yeah. Later on when Finn's like, "You kissed him?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, was it like a like kiss, or was it more of a, I'm glad we found each other, and then the Force and all these other, non-romantic applications for it.
It was a kiss of gratitude and recognition.
We were on a break.
And he's like, gratitude for what?
For killing all those people.
Yeah. He impregnated me. Did I not say that?
So now that Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren, is no longer with us,
goodbye, funny man.
it's time to look at the numbers. Let's do a little tail of the tape here.
Oh, all right.
Alex, you have a slight advantage with this because we've been going minute by minute, but you might have an idea, Greg. So I'll give you the first part, and I'll tell you the last thing that Kylo Ren said was "ow" when he jumped down on Exile, jumped down onto the chain from the parking lot. That was in minute 110, so it's 15 full minutes ago since the last thing that he said, and that was "ow." Before he said "ow," what was the last thing that we heard him say, and how long ago was it, do you think?
Wow.
Well, it was a conversation with Han Solo. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the word he said was. Leave me alone. But when was it?
You're not the boss of me.
Well, after that, they had to. Where did they go from there? Rey took off.
He spoke. Okay. I'll make my guess.
Okay.
He spoke 45 minutes ago, and the last word he said was plastics. Just like in The Graduate.
Right.
So how long ago was his ow?
Ow was 15 minutes ago.
All right, I'm going to say 30 minutes.
30 minutes ago.
Exactly
30 minutes. And Greg said 40 or 45?
45.
45. Alex, you're closer without going over, because it was actually 38 minutes since the last thing that Kylo Ren said, and he said,
I can't believe he won the showdown.
Well, actually, it was
camper.
The answer was right in between our two ansers, so it was the perfect one. So 48 minutes. How many? 38 minutes.
38 minutes. In minute 87, Kylo Ren is talking to Han Solo, and says, "I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." And then he says, "Dad," and then Han Solo says, "I know." And "Dad" is the last thing that he says. So he says, "Dad." And then 38 minutes, then he says, "Ow." But before that, he has some dialogue. But yeah, I don't know what I have to do. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it, which is his catchphrase. The audience goes, "Woo!" and then he looks Han Solo in the eye and says, "Dad." And then that's the last thing that he says. Says nothing. Adam Driver no longer and again, I think part of me thinks that this is something that they could not get him to do ADR, that because of the way the movie was changed, that he was unavailable to help do stuff. So they're just like, well, we'll just have him run around and do the things and not say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Although even in the first half of the movie, I feel like he doesn't talk very much either. You know what I mean? He spends a lot of time just, anyway, yeah, it's.
His final words were, "Dad, can I borrow the car?" Han says no. And he says, "Then how am I supposed to get to Exegol?
Oh.
My girlfriend's there. Come on."
There's an old TIE fighter in the garage.
Dyad.
Yeah.
Yes.
My Dyad's there.
Ooh, I'm Dyad. But yeah, that's an awful lot of time to not use. Well, I mean, you're using him somewhat, but an awful lot of time to not take full advantage of Adam Driver there.
Yeah.
38
well,
minutes.
we talked about it before. The entire Ben Solo turn happened way too late in this movie. Way too late. You could have done so much. Okay, remind me, because it's been a while since I've seen the full film. Lando shows up in the Falcon, right?
Yeah, that just happened last week.
Fucking Ben show up in the Falcon? That would have been so cool. How cool would that have been if it's Ben and Chewie in the Falcon, and then Lando's in the back somewhere, and then Ben leaves to go on his little space adventure? How dope would that have been? Pretty cool.
You think did he get lessons on how to fly the Falcon when he was a kid?
No one needs lessons of how to fly anything anymore.
Yeah, Ray flew the Falcon just by looking at it. It's not a very hard thing to fly, apparently.
Finn, the only one who cannot fly a ship.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But yes, it seems like an odd choice, and I would love to understand what the decision-making process there was. I can't help but think that their hands were tied to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's dead, so we don't have to worry about it.
His secrets die with him.
Because you're right. Because I mean, he's a bit of a talker. In the Force Awakens, he likes to hear himself speak,
and he gets some good. He gets good moments talking to Rey. Does he have good moments? Does he have good dialogue moments in this movie out of the helmet? Besides the scene with Han Solo,
I can't. I mean,
most of the time when he's talking to Rey through the dyad, it's with the helmet on, so that could have been literally phoned in. ADR,
yeah.
I thought when he was, weird. But but I can't imagine they wouldn't have. It seems weird that they wouldn't. That ADR thing wouldn't be in his contract or something. So we kind of need you to do the last lines of the movie, but
right. I mean, unless it goes past a certain point, he agreed to do X, Y, and Z, but then they changed it because.
I mean, if the script was in progress when they were...
Yeah, I don't know.
The script just ran out, so they just had to improvise the rest. Just stare at each other.
Kylo Ren just called, and he said he's moving to Chicago.
He's returning to his home planet.
Yeah.
So he clunks down dead. Stone dead.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Ben Solo. And the Force awakened him. The Force awakened him? No, awaited him. What did it say? The Force awaited.
It
like,
embraced
welcome.
him. He felt the rapture of the Force.
It's a shame. This feels like, would this have been a good time to have Force ghosts show up and like bring Ben? You know what I mean?
I
like
kind of see the temptation
put the bow
being
on
there.
his. Yeah. I mean, obviously they did it later, but maybe they didn't
Right.
want to spoil the moment with Rey. They wanted to save it for her, even though it makes a lot of sense. It does with Ben Solo dying.
Well, we should have seen some at some point, either here or on Tatooine, right? Like, would have been pretty good.
We just see Luke and Leia, right?
I don't know if is that a Force ghost or is that just like her wistful imagination?
Her vision.
That's got to be Force ghost. It's the parallel of Return of the
like
Jedi.
the idea
it's like the same kind of vibe and everything.
They should have them show up and then like it just like Return of the Jedi have like Ben materialized next to them, and then like Luke just like rolls his eyes. And he's just like, you.
Luke tries to kill him. Luke, finally, he stabs him with his Force ghost lightsaber. All part of Luke's plan.
Hey, Ben, I'm glad you can make it, but I just want to tell you you're unwise to lower your defenses.
Four ways. Yeah. Do you remember one of the early drafts of Star Wars or one of the movies? Maybe it was Return of the Jedi had Ben and Yoda returning back to life to help Luke fight Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi.
Ben, Yoda, and Anakin showed up to help fight Darth Vader. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? All sorts of crazy things could have happened.
I think that was
Anakin showed up to fight Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Was that in Return of the Jedi, or was that
I want to say that was the bracket draft of Empire Strikes Back. That
makes sense.
Before they made that decision.
Yeah.
The big decision. That Anakin cannot fight Darth Vader.
Right. Yeah.
But I thought it was some sort of like. I thought it was like some sort of Superman 3 thing where like Anakin is fighting himself, but he's
in a junkyard.
Anakin, and good Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should totally do that.
That's my only Richard Pryor impression from Superman 3.
They totally should have done that on Ahsoka when they used Hayden Christensen. That would have been awesome to see him fighting Darth Vader, you know? He's still around. They can still
Anakin fighting Darth Vader?
Still use
they don't even have to do the, double up thing. You just have somebody else in the suit and have
that's what I mean.
It's
like
it's good.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do. And then he takes the helmet off and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi underneath.
Oh.
Or it's Luke underneath Luke's head.
Right.
He's like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. You did this to me once.
How do you like it? Well, anything else for minute 120? What are we on? 125.
125. No.
Or Greg, do you have anything else? Obviously, we've talked about the movie extensively. Is there anything else you want to say? Any other things you liked or that were especially egregious?
Not much to look forward to, but anything you're sad you missed? I mean, obviously, we heard your top 5 things, but besides the death, anything else you would want to talk about from this movie?
And it's okay if there isn't.
I mean, they fly now. I think that was an important takeaway from the film. They fly now.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously, listen, if we're talking about minutes that I regret not being a part of, I understand I was ineligible to be part of it because it didn't involve a major character death. But obviously, when Babu Frick shows up, would have been a delightful episode to appear on. The indelible, endearing character from this pile of dreck, Babu Frick.
You just missed him coming back. He was in last week. He showed up like a window Garfield.
Hey.
How did they not sell those?
Hey. Is it hey? Wow. Is it 3 hays or just 2 hays? Is it hey or just hey? I forget.
I think it's
2 hay.
The Babu Frick.
You can't do hey.
3 is what's happening.
Or Fat Albert.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
Fat Albert.
Yeah. I was trying to flash back to all of the Babu Frick catchphrase T-shirts that were available at local Targets during Rise of Skywalker's release.
And you had
or when you pull the string on the Babu Frick plushie, how many hays he gives you. Every kid had one of theirs under the Christmas tree that year, let me tell you.
I had to get the early bird special that they just gave me like a piece of paper that says we will send you a Babu Frick doll in
right. It's an empty months. Babu Frick box.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Babu Frick will return in March.
Well, all right. I guess that will wrap up minute 125 and wrap up Greg's tenure here. Thanks once again for joining us and closing out the series with us, the end of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Can't wait to hop on with you boys again for whatever film that might be. Maybe we need Filoni to get on his horse and make something so you guys can dissect it, maybe be something else. Who's to say? Just let it be known. If someone kicks the bucket, croaks, becomes one with the Force, enters the Force's embrace, what have you, turns into dust like so many Sith Eternals on Exegol.
Yeah.
I'm your man. It's always a pleasure to be here, boys.
Especially if someone is iced.
Oh.
Yes.
See, it's like, yeah. Anyway, on that cheery note.
It's the hockey.
The hockey.
Oh, right.
Hockey.
Totally. That's another layer.
By the way, the closest Star Wars name we have currently in hockey, as Pete probably knows, there is a goaltender for the Calgary Flames named Dan Vladar, which is very close to Vader.
That's like
also,
a
by the way,
Tuckerization.
There's a goalie on the Buffalo Sabres named Devin Levi, who, by the way, is a huge Star Wars fan, actually does a Qui-Gon Jinn adjacent meditation on the ice.
Oh, wow.
Before games. That's true. So
it worked out for him.
Strong with him.
Right?
Yeah. Well, right. Well, I mean, the Sabres, let's face it, meeting a Qui-Gon-esque fate usually when it comes to the NHL season.
Well, he still come back as a disembodied voice at some point.
To commentary?
They often do.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take an opportunity to remind everyone about StarWarsMinute.com/merch, and to make it even easier and tempting, I have some designs here ready to show everyone. So that
look at that.
You got the Annie.
Wow,
it's like Annie the musical, but with the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, tech issues. You got the
Technology.
Life Day parody. Everyone.
Well, we saw it. Yeah.
You got that one.
Oh, there it is.
You got this classic design from way back in the pre-digital days. It's the Princess Leia.
Four Leias.
The 4 Leias. This from the Yellow Submarine.
The Leia just call it the Leia Eras Tour. It's like that.
And this one, people who watch our videos might. Well, it's not that one. Might be familiar. I recolored this classic design that used to be all blue and yellow, and now it's all
blue and red.
Recolored it for the digital era.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. And then the last one I redid for the digital era. I painted this one, and so
that
there you go. It's
infamous
R2D2.
piece that came out of a. We were in a hotel, just like you're in a hotel now. We were in a hotel room, and somehow that conversation we got to talking about reversing C-3PO and R2D2, and lo and behold, a shirt was born.
Yes, exactly. Oh man,
reverse 3PO looks a bit like Prince Robot from Saga a little bit, which I
really
dig. So
I haven't seen it or read it.
No, it's the best comic available.
I've heard good things about it. I'll check it out. I wonder if it's on the DC. It's a DC book, right? Anyway,
yeah.
Pete the Retailer, are you a fan of Saga? You know comic books.
I do, and I think I started Saga once and then I got derailed, but I remember it being decent.
I have the collected first 50 issues if you need it. The book is the size of a Fiat, but it's good.
Nice. Is that
we gave you our mailing
wrap up,
address
or is it still going on? Oh yeah, if anybody wants to
it's still going on. They brought it back. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They're trying to. I think there's they have an end date in mind, which is always good. But yeah, Brian K. Vaughan. Good
BKV. All right, everyone. Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.